You're watching Where You Live. We are now in Courtenay at the Comox Valley Child Development Association. Joining me, Executive Director Joanne Schroeder and April Statz, who's in charge of the Autism Program, otherwise known as TAP. So they're going to be building a new building. So Joanne, we're going to ask you about the building. Like, what is it that you're building?
Well, we're really thinking of it as building a new center of excellence for children with autism. The incidence of autism all over North America, but right here in the Comox Valley, is rising all the time, and we now have over 200 children in our community diagnosed with autism. So we're really needing a new space to offer TAP and our other programs for kids with autism. So we're tearing down a big old storage area that needs to be torn down and adding about 2,000 square feet to the back of one of our existing buildings here at Cliff and Third.
Okay. And who are some of the people that are involved in this project that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Holy, there's so many already, and we just got it started. Definitely to Pippa Atwood, who's been our architect and has really advanced our thinking around the design and planning. Lacasse Construction, who are taking the lead in contracting. Braden West Construction, who have also been very helpful to us. Great, our board of directors, of course, involved always in the work and raising funds and those kinds of things.
Okay. Now, April, you work with the kids every day. So why is this building needed from your point of view?
It's going to give our children more space to move, learn, and explore. It's also going to give us the ability to provide support for more children and families in the Comox Valley. Also, it's going to give us the ability to have quieter learning environments. Some of our young ones in particular, in the learning stages, they need that quieter environment, and then once we get those building blocks done, we can then move out to a bigger, more busy environment, more naturalistic. Also really important to me is more age-appropriate space, especially for our teens. You know, we're building them up, we're talking about life skills and resumes and job skills, and you know, they don't need to do that necessarily surrounded by early learner toys, right? So we really want to provide, again, a more natural environment, more club-like, hangout, you know, that kind of a thing. Yeah.
Now, one of the approaches that I've heard you talk about in the past is that it's a whole approach for the whole family. Can you just talk about that for a minute?
It's really important to us. I already spoke a little bit about the building blocks, right, and moving it along. So we try to tackle the early stuff, and once we get those skills up to a certain level, we want to pass that along to the family and make sure that it's getting out there in the rest of the child's environments.
Okay.
We don't want to hear they just do that at TAP, right? It's important that the skills be generalized to all environments, and it's important that the families learn the skills and the tools that work for their child.
Now, last year about this time, we had a conversation, and you mentioned that you're seeing a rise in autism diagnosis in older kids. Yes. Why is it coming after the fact, like after they get out of their toddler?
That is a really good question. I don't know if maybe once they get into school, it's really being identified then. I think a lot of times, I mean, we really fall into habits with our children. I think we all do, in terms of just surviving and getting along. So maybe some of those things are just seen within the families as quirks, or, you know, they just have figured out without knowing it ways to adapt. Okay. So then maybe once they get into school, things show up a bit more, and then some of the assessment pieces come along.
Oh, okay. All right. So what is your timeline, Joanne?
We're planning to break ground in the spring of 2018, and all being well, we'll be ready for business in November of 2018. So just a little over a year from now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, both of you, for your time this morning. And we're going to take a short break, and coming up, Pam Crow, who is the chair of the board and the telethon committee. And that's right, the telethon is coming up in November. We're going to hear all about it. We'll be right back.